All right, we're going to try an experiment here using the Sweet Poppy stencil and some rainbow holographic cardstock. I almost forgot the name of it there. All right, now I haven't tried stenciling before at all, so you're going to have to bear with me. And I'm not talking about Sweet Poppy stencils. I'm talking about any type of stenciling period that I can remember. Okay, I guess in a sense, I'm making like a little stencil out of my, things like paper towels when I do, cloud types of applications and whatnot. But not, not formal, actual stencils here. Okay. But I am anxious to give it a try. I always like trying anything new. Well, I shouldn't say that. I should say I'm anxious to try anything new that I've kind of been inspired by to try. But all those types of things are fun. And, I tend to think that a really good kind of mindset going into any type of piece you're working on, be it something that you're very experienced at or not, is just to see it like an experiment. Like you're going into your craft room, your art room, or whatever, and just I think of it as a kind of like a laboratory. Okay. And I think that's a really good mindset to go into it, rather than, okay, I'm going into my art room and I'm going to make artwork, or something like that. People can kind of get a little bit gun shy in terms of, I don't know, some of the application types of things they might be doing, and during the process getting a little bit frustrated with something. But if you see it like an experiment, then, I don't know, your mind's open to, I believe, to variation and change that can happen within the span of kind of the initial concept and the final result. Okay, so that being said, I'm going to try some techniques here using these foils with the templates here, the stencils, okay? And I'm going to do it in this mirrored format. I've been, in my last live video, I held up a piece of the foil like this, and I thought that looks so cool down here in the gold reflection area down there. So I thought, I want to get to a card like that. So I thought, well, why don't we just do it with the stencil piece right here, and I'll try my hand at this. I don't know, it's kind of playing around with a couple different things at the same time here, but why not? Okay, so I'm going on with this on the mirrored holographic foil with Brilliance Black, okay? I think that, I don't know, I think the STAY-on would probably be a better bet, but the black Brilliance I'll be able to manipulate it a little bit more, and it won't dry so fast. And I'm just gonna get used to, the actual application of tone down on this. Okay, now it's not going to dry instantly, or quickly at all, but you can heat set this, and then you can spray seal it after you're done. Okay, that's what the Brilliance ink. I'm going to get a little smudgy on here, and that's going to happen, but so be it here. I'm just kind of I got to get used to this idea of the application of media to get these types of details in here. So this is something that I am not used to in terms of the methodology and whatnot. I'm probably using the wrong tool for this. Bear with me. Sweet Poppy and anyone viewing this video. I hope to do this really intricate stencil some justice, okay? There are some really tight details in this. This is one of those things I was really surprised at. Hey, I'm behind the times, in terms of a lot of the media out there, okay? Tools in general. They're thinking, wait, Kevin, this is the first time you've used a stencil. Hey, I just used STAY-on ink for the first time. Not too many, I don't know, what's it been? Like a month or something like that? I've had the pad, for years and years, but never tried it. The stencils, though, you know, I haven't tried before, and totally inspired by you know, pieces that I've been seeing, the Eileen Godwin pieces, you know, over the past, I don't know, what, like year and a half, two, I don't know how long it's been, 2 years or something like that, when I first started seeing her pieces out there using Sweet Poppy. Just for a little bit of difference. Okay, I'm going to heat set this, okay? Okay, I'm heat setting the Brilliance ink. The Brilliance inks heat set really quickly. They don't become permanently affixed to things like metallic foils, okay? The Recollections foil that I'm using here is a little bit more porous, so it becomes a little bit more kind of fused. I don't know, I shouldn't use the word fused because it's really not fused at all, but it becomes a little bit more attached to it than the mirrored foil stock, okay? But still, it's not, you know, affixed at all. So again, we'll spray seal this. Maybe I'll go out and spray seal this one as I'm working on it in this video here. But let's see, that's why I'm not doing this one live. I just figured I'm going to have to keep getting up and down when I'm working on this piece here because I don't know what to expect. Yeah, maybe I'll go outside and spray seal this and affix that black ink on there. I'm not sure if I should do it yet or not because I might be doing some manipulation. Sometimes I want to remove some of the ink that I've been, you know, applied to it. But let's see how this goes. Let's see what type of job that I did with the application of that tone in here. Okay. Kind of interesting to see anticipating this reveal. All right, we have that right there. Kind of interesting. Okay. I know I should have been working in layers, but this one's going to be a very quick application here. Okay, now I can see I put my fingerprint in there already. So maybe I should go and spray seal this right now. Okay, and let's see what this is going to look like already here. Look at that kind of mirrored reflection like that type of thing. I'm going to put some foreground in here. It's going to be a cabin with a rising moon in here. Okay, all right, and I might put a little bit of a, you know, kind of a, I don't know, tone on the outside, but let me go ahead and spray seal this because I want this to be fairly fixed. I don't want to lose kind of that delicate, you know, kind of a detailing on there, okay? All right. I have spray sealed, and I spray sealed it with the Krylon Workable Fixative, okay? I didn't give it a super thick coating because I want to retain that real reflective type of rainbow holographic nature of the surface there, okay? But let's go in now, and I think I'm going to do the STAys-on application of this cabin here, and then we'll put on the cloud with moon image in the background. I've always thought working these circular types of compositions in here with the moon, you know, like a full moon in the background would be perfect for kind of repetition of form in terms of a round moon and the rounded element in there. Okay. All right. So this is going to go down here. I think I might, let's see, let me see. We're going to blend off this imagery on the side a little bit. Okay. About like so. And, you know, if some of these trees go off that side, then so be it. Okay. And then like so. All right, stays on, you have to work fast, I've been told. Okay. Sometimes I hold that down too long. It's like, oh my God, that's stuck on there. I got to get used to that with the stays on. It like dries instantly and adheres. Okay, and okay, cloud with moon. Right here, this is the smaller version. I'm going to pop that right in there. Okay, so the moon is roughly, oops, I didn't need to take that off. Okay, so the moon is right there, so I'm going to put that moon, I'll put the moon over here a little bit, kind of in the corner like that. So I'm going to ink up and then really wipe off the edge right here, okay? You can almost see, you can see kind of the different tonal difference between the stays on and that brilliance ink, can't you? Of course, this is a full application of the stays on, where the brilliance is, you know, just a sponged, you know, brushed on kind of version of it, so it's not a full saturation. Okay, this is going out here, so I want to really get rid of these edges on this one because I'm not going to have too much tone on the outside to blend it in, so I want to dry off the perimeter like this pretty good. And the other day I kind of took too long to mop off, and I stamped it out, and you couldn't even see the impression because it dried on my stamp before I had a chance to stamp it out. So the stays on it, keeping me on my toes in terms of you know, doing things expeditiously, you might say. Okay, so that is that. All right, and I will clean off my images afterwards, which I don't always do. If I ever do, with dye-based inks and brilliance inks, you know, the water-based inks. Okay, so we have that. Now, what I want to do is I want to create a nice reflection down there in this form right here, like that. I'll put some trees around here or something like this too. Okay, but, all right. So here's the thing with the stays on ink. Can I go in there? Maybe I should heat set it just to make sure. I'm pretty sure. I mean, I don't know if that brilliance ink is all dry on there either. And sometimes when you put the stays on ink over the top of the brilliance ink, I don't know if the stays on is, you know, like really adhered because it might have went over the brilliance ink, which is not, you know, permanently fixed down there like that. So let's see how that goes. Okay, so let's bring out some additional tone or value in these images right here, okay? And maybe I should bring in a little bit of shading in here as well to the side of the cabin. I'm not sure about that, but okay, this is a white acrylic paint pen, 0.7 millimeter. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring out that moon a little bit more, or a lot more. And we'll white that out here, okay? I mean, there's not a lot of contrast in here, you know, we're working with on the top of the rainbow holographic, but it'll be whiter, and I want that really to be my light source in the scene. It's so glary with the light reflecting off of the surface, I can't even tell what I'm coloring here. All right, really slick surface. Get your paint feeding again here. When you start adding some of this acrylic paint and ink down, at one point in time you might actually start scraping it off. But the acrylic paint is really designed to draw well onto any type of surface, so things like glass and stuff. So you're pretty good with this on here. Okay, so there's that white. I'll hold this up so you can kind of see. Oh, here we go. I got a better flow going here. There's a little bit scratchy of an application there. Okay, so there's the white. See that? That's how white it is. It's hard to see with this glare like that, but when you go like that, it's very apparent, like so. Okay. And, all right, now this acrylic paint dries pretty fast, but maybe I should give it a little bit of a heat seal. Okay, I don't want to spend too much time on that because I don't like how it makes the, you know, the foils really curl and buckle, although we'll be flattening it out when done. Look at that, still that rainbow holographic type of aspect of this. Okay, so let's go in here again with the cabin, and we're going to be utilizing, let me grab another piece of paper here, scratch paper, and let's put some nice moonlight on the top of that cabin right here. Okay, now one of the things I generally recommend is you just go, you know, I mean, you could mask off all four sides, but I just recommend two sides like so. And I'm doing this side that's kind of closer to my light source rather than this side. I mean, you know, I mean, it wouldn't be bad to do it the other way around or whatever. But generally the top portion as one of your sides. Okay, so I'm just gonna have a cotton ball like this, and I'm going to go into my white Brilliance ink here. Okay, and let's see. You're always going to get this frayed type of cotton ball. So what you do is you get it inked up, then you smash it down a little bit and push that ink back in there so you have a nice flat surface to work with, okay? Now I'm not going to be applying too much on here. Well, let's just see what it looks like initially here. Okay, maybe a Q-tip would have been better. This is a really small area right here. And I'm right in front of this, and it's even hard for me to tell where this is. I'm applying it because of the amount of light kind of glaring off of the surface, this reflective mirrored, well, not mirrored, but foil surface here. But I think that is about right. Let's take it up, hold it up like this, and you can see that rooftop now. I got a little bit over that amount right there. So I'm going to just take a little bit of a sponge here, and I'm going to take a whatever piece of paper towel and get the side of that, like about like so. Okay, now I think, you know, that we've applied our highlight on the rooftop right in there. It's starting to look more three-dimensional, isn't it? I think I am going to apply some tone. I'm going to keep it grayscale like this, okay? This is just an alcohol ink marker, and I'm going to go in and add a little bit of shading underneath some of these eaves, about like so. I need to be careful because the alcohol ink could put the solvent ink back into solution, okay? You know, alcohol could dissolve that solvent, so be careful about that. So I'm just applying a little bit on, you know, tone like that. I didn't apply too much around there, but let's just leave it like that. Maybe I can add a little bit of darker value with some black pigment ink. Let's go ahead and try that. Okay, so I'm going to take some of this, and I'm going back into the Brilliance ink pad, okay? And this time we'll do black, okay? Get it kind of mixed and kind of a little bit more evenly applied to the cotton ball like this. And also I want kind of a dull, I don't want too blotchy of a application, so, you know, take off a lot of that tone like that until you get the consistency you want, all right? And what I want is something more like that, okay? And then let's apply that on the form here, okay? So on the side of the cabin. Put a little bit of tone about like so. All right, so you have a little bit of shadow. So stands to reason if you have highlights in there, you might have shadows on the side, okay? All right. Let's take a look at that and see how this is looking. All right, now let's take a look and see what it's looking like in the mirrored part of it. Like that. Look at those different colors in there. Like about like so. That really looks recessed in there, especially down here, doesn't it? It looks like this hole is like cut out in there. All right. Now let's see. Now one of the things I was thinking about is having some light beams coming out of here. Thinking about that, but I'm also thinking about some snowfall in here in terms of a textural pattern. I really feel like I saw them do this on one of their Sweet Puppy videos, where they were putting crystals in the middle of these areas right here, but this is a mirror card, so I don't want to do that because it's going to kind of crunch on there. So we can apply some highlights with some Dr. Martens or something like that, or you can just go in here and apply some little white dots for little embellishments in there too. Or I don't know, we can do silver on there too. That might be kind of interesting. But let's see. Let's go with the white paint pen again. And let's apply some little details in here like so. I'll apply it in the middle of some of these little areas. Again, I know it's hard to kind of see. Hard to see with all that reflection, but I'll hold this up at an angle so you can see what I've done here. Like I said, I'm right in front of it, and it's hard for me to see. Sometimes there's so much glare coming off of this foil. I'm going to go around on some of these little looping little arms here too. I really love Art Nouveau, so this kind of reminds me of some of that. Some of the Aubrey Beardsley pieces, these little looping little decorative elements like this. I think I will use some silver on this. So I'm trying to, as I go along, I'm kind of, as I'm kind of discovering this piece, I'm kind of discovering the different forms in here and familiarizing myself with it. Okay, a little bit larger dots for those main kind of snowflake centers for a little change in form. Change in scale, I should say. Okay. All right. Oh, okay. Now here's the thing that I was doing too. Let's go with, I think let's go with a little bit of a tan color right here, okay? It's a little bit more of a warm tinge, and I'm going to use that in the windows here. So we're going to go from kind of external lighting right here, where the windows are all dark, to internal lighting where, here we go. Let's see if I can get this focused in here. Oh, my camera doesn't want to focus on this mirrored cardstock camera. Let me see. It's not really mirrored cardstock, but okay. All right, I'm just gonna go in like that. Okay, let's see. I don't know if that's enough contrast in there. I might want a little bit more contrast. Might have to go with white. Yeah, it shows up here pretty good. Let's see. Yeah, a little bit of interior lighting right here. I'll put those windows illuminated a little bit more like that, and that's how they look right there. Okay. Oh, and you can see all the, I need to see this too. I can see all the little decorative little elements in here like that. And what I've done, I couldn't see it before. It's like that. It's like that. It's like day and night. It's like jewelry or something like that with all those little elements on there. All right, let's take a look here and see. Like that. All right, I think I'm going to add in, let me see here. Let me see about those light beams. I'm trying to envision some light beams coming, you know, out from this moon. Maybe we can do a couple subtle ones. I don't know. I think it'd be kind of interesting to have it breaking the frame like that. I mean, it already looks, you know, reasonably three-dimensional. But if we can have it look like something's coming from the inside now and out, I don't know, might be pretty interesting. If we're going to do that, I better spray seal it again. You know, where I applied that white pigment ink over the top of that. Or should we just go on? Just go on. Okay, so I'm going to add in a couple of different foreground elements down here. Okay, all smudgy. Let's get all my oily fingerprints off of this foil piece down below here before I stamp my imagery. And of course, I'm holding it with my oily fingers, getting additional smudgy prints, but let's get it out of the main reflective area down here. Okay, so let's go. Stays on again here. guess I don't need to re-ink this. I inked it up pretty good last week. I'm learning. With this one I learned quickly because my first piece with this I almost, ripped off some of that foil because it adhered, it dried so fast. So everything tells me to hold this down longer from what I've learned so far, but with the stays on it's like, no, you don't need to do that. Just stamp, lift, release, Okay, so we have those trees down here. We'll keep this composition pretty simple. All the techniques on here, simple stuff. It's just, I think I'm using a lot of techniques, or I don't know, a lot, a decent amount. Okay, so we have that right there. Down in our little watery area. I don't know, I mean, this area down here, it usually represents water or something like that. The framework here. Let's go like this down here. I didn't want to lose too much of the darker forms out there, so. Okay. Okay, I'm picking up some of that black, okay. Maybe I should re-ink this white here a little bit. Like I said, that black isn't like permanently fixed. Although I did spray seal, I didn't spray seal it too aggressively. Okay, so see that beam coming out there like so? Here's what it looks like this. Okay, let's come down here. I applied a little bit more because I couldn't see it. You'll be able to see it. I'll be able to see it though, definitely, when held up, in the darkness. But when I'm applying it right here, it's so light, so it's kind of hard to gauge how much to apply. Okay, I'm going to kind of have it diffuse across that tree a little bit like that. All right. We'll go like this. We'll go for one more. But I'm just going to have it kind of go across these trees here a little bit, and then I'll have it kind of continue out down this way. So like this, okay? All right, now that needs to get blended in. So one of the things I always do after I stamp out those light beams or whatever types of applications like that, on the, what is going on? My camera just cannot find focus. Sorry about that, folks. One of the things I do is after I apply that type of thing, I go back in with my white pigment ink and I apply a little bit more in here to give it more of a universal type of texturing in here. Let's see, is that still a little bit out of focus? Let me move the other things that are kind of not very reflective out of the frame here if I can. Okay, so let's lighten this down here. Like so. Let's put some of it into these clouds, I think. So some of that lighting is on the clouds as well. Some of it's on top of the treetops like that. Let me see if I can sneak this in here. Oh, good, we're a little bit. Okay, so this is what this is looking like this. Let's move out into a little bit of this framework out here, that shadow a little bit too. And let's put some at the base of the cabin. The cabin is like a little bit of a kind of illuminated fog or mist. Okay, looks like something like that. Let me blend some of that out a little bit. I might have applied too much. All right, there we get that. Let's take a look and see what it looks like in the framework of our composition here. Okay, let's see. Now it's not focusing at all. There's too much mirroring going on. Okay, here we go. Something like this. Night and day type of thing. Let's see, let's get some of this. Let's change the lighting here. I'm looking at down there in the water too, that, or I don't know, that reflective area. Okay, I want to get a little bit of extra texture in here. I was thinking, let's, you know, as I was doing this before I started off with the beams, I thought, okay, let's really kind of squeeze, you know, I don't know, is it squeeze? I don't know, but let's really try to get kind of the maximum amount of, oh, come on, focus here. The maximum amount of textural kind of variety that we can get in here. All right, so Dr. Martin's Bleed Proof White. I reconstituted an old bottle of this, and I used too much water when I did that one. The other one that I was using, I hadn't been used in years and years and years, and it was like solid cake, you know. It looked like my cracked earth stamp, and I reconstituted it all, but I used too much water. But I'm right at the right kind of consistency now that I want, which isn't too wet and isn't too dry. It's kind of a little bit of a kind of real thick, kind of maple syrupy type of consistency. Okay, so let's get a little bit of this texture going in here. So we're kind of layering this once again with some additional texture. Okay, let's see. I can't even see what I'm doing here. Let's get a little bit of shaded or darkened here. Can't really see it too much because it's on top of this rainbow holographic again. So it's very reflective. Okay, so let's see. I mean, it doesn't look daytime with that moon in there, but in terms of the color pattern, it kind of does. So you get that, and night, day and night. Let's see that texture going on in there. It looks a little bit more rustic like that, I think. You know, with that spatter painting, huh? See, look at that. Like that. Isn't that cool? That's really daytime right there. And night. Okay, let's see. All right, I need to figure out some kind of quote stamp that I want to use in here. I think it's time that I spray seal this again because I want to affix this portion with this mirrored portion down below. But I think I want to have some kind of floating little quotation in there. All right, so break here as I go and spray seal this, and then we'll take some tape runner in here, and we'll affix this to this part. It dries pretty fast. Okay, but that's still being said, I'm going to be fairly delicate here in terms of my application of this. Again, you don't have to be if you're using STAY-ON instead of the Brilliance ink, but I did not know what I was doing, so I thought I'd be fairly conservative and use the Brilliance as opposed to, you know, instantly drying STAY-ON here, okay? All right, so applying this in like so. Okay. Make sure there's no paint on there or something like that. Adhering, fixing, smoothing. Okay. And there's our format right now. Okay. A card like that. Opens up like that. You kind of get two for the price of one, you know. Get it stamped out fast enough to where it's, you know, going to adhere and release. Ah, perfect. I thought it was going to stick. It wasn't coming off easy. Okay, so there it is right there. It's reasonably applied. But look at that. See how it's floating on that surface like that? I love that look. Like that. Look at that. See, like that? But there it is. It's almost invisible like that, huh? But look at those colors like that. So, you got the moonbeams. And the moonbeams aren't kind of coming out of there. It's because I don't want to apply too much around here. And I don't want to darken this too much more to be able to see those beams, but you can kind of see it like that. So when I hold this card up just like straight like that, and I hold it like that, you can really see the beams. But when I do this, it's like interesting because the light is being reflected back up in there, so that doesn't look so dark anymore, is it? It's like having that double mirror, you know. Kind of get it, you know, you get the lighting coming from both angles like that. So it's kind of interesting. Okay, so let me see here. Let me get my smudgies out of here. Okay, let's see. Where's my little tiny rocks stamp? Oh, here we go. And STAY-ON again. Okay, let's get a little bit of extra texturing down in the section down below. Okay. And this is what I've added down there. That reflection area. Can't really see it down here too much. But let's take a look at this piece. Alright, let's see if we need anything else in here. I'm almost inclined to add in like a little overhanging branch or something in here, but I think that looks fine as is. But anyways, there's your templates there. It's like a dual stencils in here, you know, kind of that little reflective area. You can almost see this like this. Look at this. This is like, it's like night. I can't get that night up here anymore because of that reflection up here. But it's almost like night up here and day down here, huh? With that, you know, that reflective look. You can get there. I'm getting a little bit more nighttime in there like that. I do have a lot of lighting in here due to the, you know, my studio lighting, but let's see. There it is right there. Look at those different color schemes up top. But look how it's all that lighting down below too. I think it makes for a pretty elegant card. You know, I can go a little bit more kind of ornamentation up here with the white up in there, you know, on that stencil like that, but I think that looks pretty good. It looks real silvery, doesn't it? And look at all those colors that we have running through there. A little bit of foreground down here with the water and trees. And you go like that. You get different colors like that too. Look how that looks like that. Let's see what this would look like if someone opens it like this, you know? It's like a little book or something like that. Anyway. Fun stuff. Thanks to Sweet Poppy, Stencils, Eileen, Craft Station, for giving me the inspiration and ability to use these. I can't wait to try out some additional things. This area right in here, that little recessed area, really gives me some additional kind of inspiration because it looks really three-dimensional like that. That area right there does look really recessed to me just with that use of that shading like that. So I saw that in some of the, you know, Eileen, you know, Godwin's cards. So, yeah. But I was really kind of curious to see what this type of thing would look like on metallics and foil. So here I'm seeing it kind of used, you know, in both the rainbow holographic and in a way the gold down below because it's reflected down there. So it gives you a little bit of an idea of what this type of thing can look like. So look at that, just kind of playing around with that. It looks like jelly.